Hey, Legacy Builders, this is Melinda Colón, and I want to welcome you to the Legacy Builders Unleashed podcast, the go-to podcast for visionary entrepreneurs, business owners, and leaders who are ready to scale their businesses fast while leaving a lasting impact. Each episode will deliver actionable insights on marketing, business strategy, and mindset tailored to legacy builders. Whether you're scaling to your next million, refining your systems, or looking to cement your influence for generations to come, this podcast will empower you to level up and build a legacy that stands the test of time. Now let's get into today's episode. Welcome back to the Legacy Builders Unleashed podcast, your go-to podcast for visionary entrepreneurs, business owners, leaders who are ready to scale their businesses way faster while leaving a lasting impact. My name is Melinda Colón, your host, and I'm excited about today's episode, Irresistible Offers. Let's dive into it, crafting what the perfect strategy for your legacy business should be, or where it should start, at least based off my success principles and proven results. Today, I want to discuss the art of creating compelling offers that resonate with your ideal clients, your target audience, and align with your long-term vision. Because at the end of the day, if your business is not something that you like building, why are you building it? You want to enjoy the ride, am I right? So we're going to break down how to position your services or products for high ticket sales and getting those high ticket buyers. And so something that I heard today from my coach, Eileen Wilder, is that you need to, like, everybody is a high ticket buyer. Everybody's a high ticket buyer. And I was just like, whoa, you're right. She said, well, people don't think twice to buy a new car. People don't think twice when they buy a house. People don't think twice when they're investing in a college tuition, right? And so it's just like, yes, we're all high ticket buyers. Now, what is different and what's interesting is that there is this paradigm shift that's happening specifically for service businesses, professional service creatives who have established their business as a consultation or contracting or freelancing business working hourly. And the shift is that hourly doesn't work anymore because, to be honest, I don't think it ever did work. I think it was allowed to work for a very long time because there was a lot of information that was put into the shadows, into the dark, and nobody recognized or acknowledged that that was a problem yet because we were so very busy working on our businesses, working crazy hours trying to make ends meet. And so this new world of the internet and social media and just so many opportunities to connect with people across the world has opened up this new opportunity that is called high ticket sales, high ticket offers, you might have heard, which is inevitably it's just a different alternative way of calling value-based pricing. It's value-based pricing. So what is the value or what is the result that you're delivering to someone? And instead of thinking like that your hourly rate, so I will put it this way. So hourly rates is kind of like putting a patchwork on the project or making your client the project manager. Whereas high ticket or value-based pricing is really just kind of giving them the solution to the root problem. So if you provide a piece of the entire project that needs to be accomplished, is there a way you can create an offer that includes all of the pieces and lets your customer set it and forget it with you? Now, your know, like, and trust is accelerated extremely faster because they don't have to think about it. You just made it so much easier and you eliminated a lot of friction that existed in the marketplace, elevating your authority and increasing your ability to close high ticket offers all automatically just by creating the offer itself. But how do you know what offer to create? How do you know what's going to work in the marketplace? It's not going to work. How do you know what to price it at and all these things? Well, the first answer is that you don't price it by hourly. No, no, no. Hourly is out. Okay. You want to make sure that you're pricing your high ticket offers with a good, beefy, healthy profit margin. That's a win, win, win across the board. So win for you, win for the client, and win for anybody else that's involved in the offer delivery. So say, for example, and this is just something really simple from, being in marketing. agency owner is website. Now, if somebody comes to me and says, I want to create a website and I'm just looking for you to lay out the framework. Awesome. So, client, you're going to provide copy, graphics, headshots, all the imagery, and the brand style and everything, because we're just going to lay it out. A lot of business owners, like a lot of website designers, will do everything and never call out the elements that they're doing in their project scope. And that's where we go wrong, because now it's not apples to apples anymore. It is skewed understanding of what's involved in the solution. And so instead of thinking that your customers are just like trying to nickel and dime you, it's truly that they don't understand what you're doing and the value you're creating for them in delivering them a solution that they actually desire to have. So that's one thing, is to first start out with, what are you doing? Like, what is the thing that you're doing for the customer and how much do they value this? I heard this, I was listening to this podcast, this was years ago, and this guy was talking about his web design company and how his minimum start was about $30,000, and that he had a client that came to him after the website crashed. It was a different designer builder that put together his website, completely customized. And the person that built his website was nowhere to be found when his website crashed. And he was making money, like he was in e-commerce, like he was making money through his website. So like it crashing and not working and not being available was a really big deal to sales. So he went on and explained that what he ended up doing is to create the value based price, or AKA high ticket offer, is that during the discovery process with the customer, which was accelerated, by the way, because it was kind of like an overnight project, is that he talked to them about how painful this was to their business for not having this website up, and how much money were you losing, and how much money do you typically run through your website, and et cetera. What was the traffic like, et cetera. Well, the customer provided the information because he was smart, and the guy that was talking in the podcast, he said, well, I just went ahead and I quoted him way more than $30,000. He didn't say how much, but he said way more than $30,000, and the customer happily paid it. He didn't feel bad. Like, after that, he thought, well, the guy's never going to come back to me because I charged him a lot of money. But he did. He came back because not only did this web builder fix the problem, but he also addressed other issues in the sequence, in the system, in the setup, and everything that was not addressed initially, building that know, like, and trust even further. See, like, trust is like a barometer. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you got your associates, you got your friends, you got your family, right? And just depending on who you are, your family might be down the barometer or whatever, right? But you have certain levels of trust with people, and that's how it works. So when your buyers buy from you the first time, your customers, clients buy from you the first time, you're building that trust. They've given you enough trust to buy from you, but there's still more opportunity for you to gain more trust. And you want to take that opportunity because it's going to lead them to advocacy, where they're advocates of your brand, where they're telling everybody how amazing you are. And that's exactly what this guy did. So the builder charged him a lot of money for a very fast turnaround project, fixed all of the things that were wrong, got it up and running, and the guy was able to run millions of dollars in sales every month again. Plus, because the builder understood his business, he was able to create another stream within his website and basically have an upsell, an OTO, upsell within his funnel, which made him even more money that didn't exist in the first place. Why am I saying this? Because there's opportunities for you to execute and deliver this valuable resource that you already have in your arsenal to your buyers, to your customers, your clients, your partners, that you already have access to, that you already know how to do. You just don't know how to create the offer. You might be thinking to yourself, oh, I'm just going to focus on the website. Well, what if you do the website and you do the graphic design and the copywriting and you know someone who can do the SEO? That's amazing, right? Like, just so how can you create seamless and frictionless marketing experience or customer service experience for your buyers, for your clients, customers, and partners, so that the only answer is yes? Well, that's the part of persuasion that needs to be a part of your offer. It's like, how do you know what is important to them? Because when you talk about perception, it's not your perception of your value. It's actually your buyer's perception of your value. Like, you ever talk to somebody and you're telling them about your business, or maybe you're telling them about like this really cool thing that you came up, you found information on. They're like, wow, you're so smart. Or like, wow, I didn't, like, that's so complicated. How do you, and you're like, oh, it's not a big deal, right? You're just kind of like, you kind of just shrug your shoulder, like, oh, it's not a big deal, right? That oftentimes is your superpower. And that oftentimes is the key to the entire perception of your buyer experience. Is the thing that they say, wow, where their eyes are very expressive, where they gasp, where they're just like, oh man, they're very expressive with their words, their tone, and their emotions, is something to keep an eye on when you're expressing what you can do. Because that's usually something that it's a hint that they value what you do. So an easy way to test this to make sure that you're on the same plane with them is to go, when you say something and they're like, wow, you just reply back and you're like, oh, is that something of value to you? Or like, is that a big deal for you? And that is just, again, an opportunity for you to increase trust with the buyer. And also, you're testing, you're learning in the process. So I built this system called the client journey system. And the main the main story behind creating the system is to help business owners understand that they are the scientists and their customers are allowed to feel. So when a client is going through the process, a client, a customer, or partner is going through a process of buying into your ideas, seeing that you're the go-to for for their problem, etc., and they're going through the transformation that you're going to deliver on the other end of your high-ticket offer, your goal and your only focus is to make sure that your emotions stay in check, meaning that you allow your customers to feel emotional. Allow them to feel all the feelings. That is a part of the transformation. Make sure to document it, right? In a respectful manner. But you're not involved in that. Even if they call or they email and they're just like, I'm frustrated and da 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 da, this has nothing to do with you. It is them going through a transformation in their business and their life to get to the place where they want to be. A lot of times when you think about transformation, or I think about transformation, I think about the hero's journey. And I love the hero's journey, or the hero's two journey, which expresses that there is going to be a guide to the hero. Now, a lot of business owners, when I'm teaching this or I'm on stage speaking about this, they think that they're the guy, they're the hero. They'll say, oh, I'm the hero, right? I'll ask, like, who's the hero in the story? And a lot of people will raise their hand. They're like, me, business, business, business. And the answer is no, your customer, your clients are the heroes. They're the heroes. Now, if you can fill their jetpacks and make sure that they have everything they need as you're their guide, then you become their hero. But you're not the hero of the story. You're just the support system that they need to get to where they need to go. So, like, if you ever seen the movie Cinderella and the fairy godmother, so that's the guide to the hero. The hero is Cinderella. If you've ever seen any of the Star Wars movies, right? So Yoda would be the guide. Um, if you saw Lord of the Rings, right? So like every movie or every story, a really good story is always going to have a guide, someone or something guiding the hero through the process of going through a transformation. But what is happening with the hero? They're going through a lot of change, shifting their mindset and going through emotional breakthroughs. and a lot of just things that are happening to them physically, emotionally, spiritually. And as a guide, you're not a part of that. You're just there to support them going through it and documenting the process so that the next person that comes through your client experience, well, they get through it a lot easier and then easier, and so on and so forth, so that it's making your job a lot easier. So that's why I say, as a business owner, you're a scientist. You're just documenting, keeping track of your KPIs, keeping track of your key performance indicators, your data. You're just making sure that they're following suit in order to get the end result that they truly desired and they paid for. And they can go through the emotions as however they like, but allow them to go through the emotions themselves. One last thing that I'm going to say about that is when it comes to the client journey, in my system, the client journey system, I have different prompts for every phase of the 5 phases. So awareness is really where they're pain dominant. So I call this the layer of the client system, heart and head selling. So awareness is where they're pain dominant. So they're emotionally in dominance. They're just thinking about their feelings constantly and they're in a lot of pain. Their decision making is going to be skewed based off the pain. When they get to consideration, that's when it starts to get a little bit clearer because they're going to be focusing on their pain dominance, but now they have logic that's going to support them making a decision. Okay, my arm hurts. All right, so I'm looking for information about an arm, right? A little bit more focus, not too narrow focus, but just enough for them to continue to the conversion phase, which is how they buy the product or service, right? The discovery call, the sales page, the value sales letter, whatever it is. Now, this is where there's an exchange. Immediately, as soon as someone gives you money or is about to give you money, there's going to be a switch, a conversion, literally a conversion in emotional to logical dominance. Your buyers are going to be logically dominant versus emotionally dominant at the conversion phase. So what that means is that, yeah, they've in awareness, they've already identified that they're in pain and they know they need help. Consideration, they know that they may want to go with you because you seem like a really good fit. And at the conversion phase, they're thinking to themselves, how does this work? And and is this a right fit? They're not thinking about your offer. They're not thinking about anything because they've already said yes. So there's another layer to the client journey system, but there's decisions that are made throughout the entire journey that are very micro. They're micro decisions that happen every single step of the way. When someone books a call, they've made a decision that they want to buy from you. When someone gets the call, they've made a decision that they trust you. Now, it might not be high on the barometer, but there's still trust. And when they give you money, that is them increasing their trust, but it's validating their emotional decisions with logic at the same time. So it's a conversion. It's a conversion to a logical buyer who is going to say, how does this work? And so your job at the time of taking their money immediately is to activate them properly or retain them properly by teaching them exactly what they need to know about the system, about the process, about the delivery of your product or service. So what does that look like? It looks like, okay, congratulations for joining the program, getting the service, da da da. Congratulate them for making the transformational decision to have you as their guide, right? It's never a thank you because you're on the same plane. It's a whole different conversation about messaging. But when we're talking about irresistible offers, it's a congratulations because they're going to go through the transformation, not you. Now, you're going to congratulate them and immediately you're going to say, okay, the next step is expect an email from This is what we're going to do, and then this, and then this. Okay. But I'm going to walk you through the entire process. Now you've helped them relinquish their control over trying to drive the journey and allowing them to step back and sit in the passenger seat. When you do this, you are starting the activation properly. Why am I expressing this during irresistible offers and creating them? Because the offer isn't what you sell in conversion, it is the offer that you deliver on during activation. So if you're delivering on activation, you want to make sure that every step of the way, the buyer, the customer, the client, your partner understands exactly what they're going to get in the transformation along the way so that they can be fully immersed in the experience. If you explain it that way, it will make it easier for them to adapt to the way that you do business, allowing you to stay in control and focus on giving them the journey that they just invested in. This happens all the time. So you do this all the time. It happens all the time. You ever gone to the doctor's office and you went in and you sat on the cold bed and the doctor comes in for about 5 minutes, right? After waiting 45. No, no shame to doctors. We love them. They're helpful. They take care of us, right? But he goes through a sort of questions, right? The medical industry, pharmaceutical industry, they do this. I mean, they do the client journey to the T, the best. So they ask you a sort of questions and you answer them. And then what do? Okay, I'm going to give you a prescription and then I'm going to need you to rest for a couple of days. And then I'm going to need you to do this and da 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 da. And you'll get all of this documented on your invoice on your way out, right? They tell you exactly what to expect because they're a high ticket seller. They provide a high ticket service. They provide a value based service, not an hourly service, a value based service. So when you understand it from this perspective, you realize, oh, wait a minute, I'm already doing this or experiencing this in my life, and I'm just going to follow suit because that is just human nature. When you understand how to deliver a high ticket offer and how to make it about the buyer, you're building success in your business. When you get to advocacy, when you get the client to advocacy, which is basically after the transformation, you've show them the mirror, which is what I call like showing them the before and after, and letting them see how they went through the transformation. Now their trust accelerates, it increases exponentially because now they're like, oh, you delivered on your promise. I feel great. And now the pain of giving away money was easy. Like it's a no brainer. What happens is that you can ascend them to the next thing, then send them to the next solution that they're automatically going to have because they've just solved the problem. For every problem, there is a new solution. And for every solution, there is a new problem. And so if you set up your business this way, you'll never run out of opportunities to sell to your customers, clients, and partners. Now, it's not to say that you shouldn't go out and do business development and sales and prospecting and advertising and marketing. It is to say that you want to continue to nurture your buyers so that they stay longer and you increase the lifetime value of each buyer that's in your environment. I hope that you enjoyed this episode. It was a little bit deep into the strategy and tactics, but high level, really just thinking about how do I create an irresistible offer? It's really about focusing on what's high in demand in your audience's marketplace. Like, what is the thing that they're attracted to? What is the thing that they're saying that they need to solve? And enough people are saying so that you can go out and sell it to them. And when you do this, not only are you winning for yourself and just eliminating time for money, but you are also helping your customers, your clients, and partners win as well. And when they win, everyone wins. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. We look forward to seeing you in the next one. Take care.